The Turtle Sliders. This team has been in the league for a while. Let's see what they have done in their history. Starting off in 2019, there will be a fan vote in which only 2 teams can join the Marble League. Well, the showdown that is. Those 2 teams would be the Hornets and you, Turtle Sliders, with the Marble's names referencing movies and books. And their coach is Splint, a reference to Master Splinter. And according to the team creator, Shelly is the reason they are together. Now go out there and make a name for yourselves in the 2019 showdown. Well, they wouldn't make a name for themselves, but it wouldn't be for any of the right reasons. The team's only subpar performance would be a 5th place in Collision. In terms of the other 3 events, Squirt performed poorly in Sand Rally, Dash did not live up to the turtle name in Funnels, and the team showed no signs of balance. They would finish 11th out of 12 teams, only doing better than the decaying fruit known as the Limers. And the Turtles would have to sit out for the 2020 qualifiers. Not a great start. For how the 2020 showdown would go for the Sliders, the good news is they didn't have 3 bottom 4 finishes this time. The bad news? They did nothing spectacular for the 2nd year in a row. Their best finish would be worse than last year's. And like the 2019 showdown, the Sliders would have only 1 top half finish for the 2020 showdown. And for the 2nd year in a row, the Turtle Sliders would finish bottom 4 in the showdown, alongside a Snowballs team that had yet to qualify, a Limers team that is the Limers, and a Jawbreakers team that would retire after this season. On to the 2021 showdown, I guess. But before we get there, it will be announced that alongside the Jawbreakers, the Hornets would also retire. And with that, relegation would get called off and the Turtle Sliders would get to compete in the 2021 qualifiers. Now this is an opportunity to prove yourself. Except the Turtle Sliders didn't prove themselves in the first 2 events of the 2021 qualifiers, with rough performances in Swing Wave and Funnels. Although things would go better for them with a 4th place finish in Relay and another 4th place finish in Sand Rally by Crush, the Turtle Sliders would miss out and would have to go to their 3rd showdown in a row. Can't they at least do better than bottom 4 this time? Good news, Turtle Sliders, you didn't finish bottom 4 for the first time. Your showdown this year would have some highs and lows. You not only had more than 1 top half finish this time, you even got a medal. No, wait, better, 2 medals. And one of them being in triathlon? Very fitting. As for the lows, it would be a 10th place finish in 5-meter sprint and Squirt taking last in moguls. Okay, just because your name is the Turtle Sliders does not mean you have to actually race like turtles. Overall, the team would finish in 7th. Not great, but it's better than the first 2 years. Okay, not exactly the greatest 3-year start for a Marble team, though the Solar Flares would one-up this sometime soon. But don't let that bring you down, Turtle Sliders, as you get invited to Marbula One Season 3, and you bring along Crush and Dash as your representatives. Their racing style, though, would be massively inconsistent. At one moment, they dropped from 2nd to 4th on the final turn. The next moment, they not only finished last in back-to-back races, but would get lapped in one of them. Then they would have 3 mediocre races in a row despite qualifying in the top 10 for all of them. And then by some miracle, the Turtle Sliders have actually did it. They have won a thing.
Victory.
Then they would follow that up with back-to-back last place finishes. But it's not all bad, as Crush would have their first and only good race of the season before both Marbles finished the season, scoring a combined 1 point in the final 2 races. Dash would take 17th, while Crush would finish 34th, and the Turtle Sliders would finish in 14th. Not the highest bar, but at least you have a race win. Well, let's see if that can carry some momentum into the 2022 qualifiers. Okay, so it turns out that isn't exactly happening. With 8 points in 3 qualifier events, they need a win at triathlon.
As they head into this track, and down we come, colliding with the walls, no time to think. Somebody's gone there. I think Turtle Sliders may have just launched off of the track.
Instead, that happens to Dash, and the Turtle Sliders finish last out of their group. Showdown number 4. Though for this year's showdown, the Turtle Sliders were solid, showcasing signs of talent with good performances in water race and block pushing, and even a win in relay. And for a while, the Turtle Sliders were in podium position, though they would unfortunately drop out of podium position as Crush takes 13th in Sand Rally, and the Turtles would finish in 4th, which is still solid. And it's the team's first top half finish in anything. Coming off of a solid showdown and a rather mediocre Christmas race, the Turtle Sliders hope to do something in the 2023 qualifiers. And it was looking to be a great start for the team as they would win in Honeycomb Team Pursuit. It might just happen, the Turtle Sliders might finally qualify. Then the rest of the qualifiers happened, scoring a combined 5 points in the other 3 qualifying events, including a last place finish in Legion March Wave. Another year, another showdown for the Sliders. For this showdown, there would be some highs and lows. The team would perform well with silvers in both the relay and March Wave. The thing about that is, those would be the only top half performances. Results of 13th in Funnels and 12th in Honey Dome Grand Prix show that they still have some things to work on. Overall, the Turtle Sliders would finish in 5th. After a better but subpar performance in the Christmas race for 2023, Marble Survival 100 would arrive and the Turtle Sliders would send in Shelly, and they would go on to win the very first race of the tournament. Throw that in with 2 more top 5 finishes and Shelly would finish 4th in the first week. Their second week would be subpar, with their best finish being a 3rd in race 3, but things would quickly fall apart in week 3, with Shelly only having 2 finishes in the top half, and one of their races would result in a DNF. That would play a key part into Shelly getting eliminated and finishing 28th, a disappointing finish after a hot start. The 2024 qualifiers are underway. Let's hope these turtles can handle the cold. They would get off to a decent start, with Dash taking 8th in Ice Dash. There would be a bit of a struggle in Halfpipe, but a decent performance in Snow Drag would give the Turtle Sliders a chance. They just need Crush to hold it down in Short Track, and if they don't hold it down in Short Track, finishing 3rd to last, and now the Sliders have to settle for their 6th showdown. It could be worse. You could be the Oceanic since 2019 or the Cobalt since ever. Their start to the 2024 showdown wouldn't be too bad, with a 9th place finish in Skiing Rally and Shelly obtaining a 4th in Funnels. It took this team 6 years to get their first top half finish in Funnels. Their next 2 events would be rough, with Frank taking 14th in Short Track and Dash repeating what Frank did by taking 14th in Ice Dash. The team would drop to 13th, but a bronze by Frank and Squirt in Duo Halfpipe would bring the team up to 9th. Crush just has to keep their composure and they'll be fine. They did not keep their composure. They stalled on the course and took last. And for the 3rd time, the Turtle Sliders finished bottom 4 in the showdown. After a performance like that, the team needs something going on in their favor for Marble Survival Season 2. And they'll send in Dash, who did really good. And they didn't just do good, but they were also one of the best competitors out of the tournament. They would have 7 races on the podium and would win 3 of them. It was a great showing all around for Dash, and they would finish the tournament in 3rd. For a team that needed an excellent showing, Dash came to perform. Their off-season results will be mixed, with Crush taking 8th in 24 minutes of Le Marble, Dash taking 30th in Marble Indy 500, and Squirt finishing 22nd in the 2025 practice race. Okay, let's look at the 2025 qualifier events. Relay, Turtle Sliders are one of the best teams at. Block pushing, this team is solid at. Swing Wave, they're decent, and Sand Rally could go either way. With all of that being said, this finally has to be the year the Turtle Sliders push through and qualify for the first time. Somehow, it was not. Despite a solid showing in block pushing, mediocre to below average performances in relay and swing wave could not help this team. Dash even did okay in Sand Rally, but regardless, the Turtle Sliders missed out by 5 points and they would have to settle for their 7th showdown. This event lineup was in your favor and you still couldn't do it. Well then, at least the showdown was pretty good for you. Shelly kicking things off right with a gold in Funnels. Adding on to that, the team will have 2 more top 4 finishes and another gold medal performance by Crush and Sand Moguls. They would be sitting in first heading into Sand Rally by a decent margin, but due to Frank ending the season in 12th for the 2nd time, the Turtle Sliders will lose out on the showdown to the Shining Swarm. Second place is still a pretty good season. But as for the other two blue teams I mentioned earlier, the Oceanics not only qualified for the first time in 5 years, they have their best season ever. And the Cobalts, you know, the team that you have been showdown friends with since day one? Not only do they qualify for the first time ever and finally escape the showdown, they will go on to win their first ever championship. Well, in the main league, that is. So if there is that, Turtle Sliders, at least you're not the Purple Rockets. Impact Marble Racing is here, and if the Turtles have to send in their Captain Crush. None of their performances were noteworthy, aside from a silver and Plinko board. Overall, Crush would finish 15th. And speaking of Crush, they will have some leftover Christmas spirit by finishing 9th in the 2025 Christmas race, and Dash had a chance to win the support race for Casino Square, but conveyor belt issues said otherwise and they will drop to 6th. For the Underleague, they will match up against their rivals in the Oceanics, and they will win in a best of 3 matchup. It's a nice consolation. Their performance in the Iron Marble tournament will get off to a slow start, but they will pick momentum up. As the tournament is going on, they are getting better and better, and one of the most notable moments in Iron Marble would be at the end of Event 6. After winning their race to cap off the round, Dash will go over to celebrate in front of the Turtles fan section. A hype moment it was, not only for the team, but for the fans as well. Momentum is building, this team is starting to pick up their stride, but none of that momentum translated into the final event. None of the Turtle Sliders would finish in the top half, and the team would have to settle for 8th overall. The qualifiers for the 2026 Marble League have arrived, and the Turtle Sliders, I'll just cut this short, they don't make it in. Their best performance was 6th, and they were in the bottom 2 for their group the entire time. 0 qualifications, 0 effort, 7 failed qualifying attempts. On to showdown number 8. Oh dear. At least this showdown was pretty good for you. Performing consistently decent and even winning in Javelin. Just like last year's showdown, the Turtle Sliders would be leading heading into the final event. And just like last year, the Turtle Sliders would not do great in the final event and would drop to 2nd because of it. At least this team is performing better in showdowns. And that is all there is to know about the Turtle Sliders. 8 years of their existence and all they have to show for is showdown appearances. They got invited to Marbula One once and never made another appearance since. No shot they could do any worse than this, right? And with the Purple Rockets being benched for the Jawbreakers, you Turtle Sliders are currently the only active team to not appear in the main league once. And it doesn't get any better, with the Purple Rockets appearing in the main league as a tester team, alongside other Marble Maniacs teams and the Golden Orbs. By technicality, you Turtle Sliders are the only team to not appear in the main league in any shape or form. I can't even say this team is a shell of its former self as a pun, because the team was never at its peak. That and it's more suited for other teams. Someday, this team will get out of its shell and finally qualify. When? Hopefully in 2027. But besides that, peace. Yeah, we're gonna scratch that because there is one more thing to talk about. While I was putting together the final pieces for this Turtle Sliders video, it just got announced that the Purple Rockets are no more. 4 years of experience gone just like that. And yeah, their journey was unforgettable, just not for the right reasons. And to add on to that, Saucer will be joining Team Galactic. Good for them. Who will they take over for? I don't know. And 2 more things for the Purple Rockets. 1, at least you have more overall podiums than the Balls of Chaos. And 2, what was the point of promoting Blast to 4th member and demoting Dwarf to reserve if the team was just going to dissolve 6 months later? I forgot to say this, but here's a 3rd thing. Team Rocket is blasting off, but for good this time. Okay, now we get into the video. See ya.